Hey, boys and girls, it's Mrs. Dailey coming on for another reading lesson. We are going to read a nonfiction article about making a budget, and then we will answer some comprehension questions together. Our vocabulary words are words that we've gone over in the past to review different economic strategies that we've been talking about this month for April lessons. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. We will dive right in. So, this nonfiction article is called Budgeting Basics. So in this picture, you can see it is a budget. So remember, budget is when you keep track of how much money you have coming in and going out so that you know what you have that you can spend and what you need to save, okay? So this example says that this person gets a paycheck of $1,500, okay? And they need to pay for their rent. So that's what you pay to have the house or the apartment or the trailer or the condo, wherever you live, that's rent is what you pay to live in that place. And then that amount is $550, okay? So then the next one down says utilities, and that's like paying for your water, your electricity. Sometimes that could be your having your phone. That can include your internet to get on the computer, your TV if you watch cable TV. Things like that are all part of your utilities, okay? So that payment is $200. And then they have to pay for their car. So grown-ups have to pay for the car that they buy. So this person pays $200 on this budget for his car or her car, depending on who it is. And then this extra money is how much they spend extra. So this might be on food, it might be on clothes, it could be on maybe they have a pet, things like that. So it just says extra, $150. So after you take away all these bills that they need to pay, they have $400 left for things that they might want, okay? So a budget helps us to keep track, to stay on track, to pay for things that we need first, and then know how much money we have to buy things that we might want to buy later, okay? It's very important because if you don't pay the things for the things that you need to survive, like your car and your clothes and your food, then you might not have money for those later if you spend too much, okay? So let's take some time and read our nonfiction article about making a budget. Remember, good listeners have their ears open, their mouths are closed, and their eyes are on Mrs. Dailey and the story, okay? Do we have enough money to buy what we need? Do we have enough money to buy what we want? A budget can help us answer these questions. What is a budget? Okay, so we're going to learn about what a budget is. This sentence right here is our main idea of the whole article. What the whole article is going to be about is telling us what a budget is, okay? So let's keep reading. Okay. A budget is a plan for how we use our money. A budget shows how much money we have. It also shows how much money we spend. So like we talked about on that picture on the cover of this article, a budget starts with how much money we get, so our paycheck amount, or how much money we already have saved. And then we talk about what we're spending so that we know how much money we have left, okay? The next paragraph says, people get money in many ways. We may get money from an allowance. We may get money as a gift. We can also earn money by doing a job. We can save or spend this money. So I want you at home to raise your hand if you know what an allowance is. If you get an allowance at home, raise your hand. Okay, I see some hands are up and some hands are like, I don't know what that is, Miss Dailey. And that's okay. So allowance is what your parents might give you at home. So if your mom and dad say, if you can make your bed and clean your room and clean up the dishes off the dinner table at night, then I will give you $1. Let's say that that's what your parents say. I don't know what everybody's parents say, but that's an example. Those are things that you do in order to get money every week, right? That's an allowance. So that's almost like your paycheck. An allowance and a paycheck are very similar. An allowance is an amount of money that you get every week that you can choose to keep or spend, okay? You might also get money as a gift. So when it's maybe your birthday, your mom's and dad's, grandma's, grandpa's, any of your family might send you a card that has $1 in it, right? That's getting money as a present because it's your birthday. You also can get money by doing a job. So let's say that every week, you help your neighbor unload their groceries from their car, and that's your job, right? You do it every week, and she says, here's your $5 for helping me with my groceries this week. And that's your job, right? Miss Dailey's job is to be a teacher. I get paid to do that. I really like to do it, but they pay me to do it, which is nice, right? So when you get paid and when you have money, you can do two different things with it, right? You can save it, so you can put it in the bank and keep it for later, or you can spend it. You can use it to go buy something, okay? So let's look at our next paragraph. People spend money on many things. They spend money on needs and wants. So we might spend money on lunch or a special treat. We might spend money on books or clothes. A budget shows how much money we spend and what we spend it on. So we talked about this in our picture on the cover too, right? So things that we need are things that help us survive, okay? So things that we need include shelter, a place to live. That could be a house, an apartment, a townhouse, a condo, a trailer, somewhere where we can live and be safe from when it's bad weather outside. So shelter. Another thing that our body needs to survive is food, right? We have to eat food to survive, food and water. Another thing that we use to survive is we have clothes on ourselves to keep our body safe. So shelter, clothes, food, those are really, really important, right? Those are things that we have to have, okay? Things that we might want to buy could be, I really, really, really want to have a computer, okay? Do I need a computer? Not necessarily, right? But do I want a computer? Yes. For you guys, it might be, I really, really, really want the game Fortnite. I really, really want it, right? But do I have to have it to survive? Not really, right? I just want it, okay? So those are the differences. If you need something, you have to have it to survive. So shelter, food, clothes, water, things like that. If you want it, it's just something that makes you happy, but it's not going to keep you healthy and survive, okay? So a budget helps us keep track of things that we might want to spend our money on after we spend them on things that we need, okay? We always want to pay for the things that we have to have first. Okay, let's look at our last paragraph. Budgets are important. We do not want to spend more money than we have. A budget can tell us if we have enough money. A budget can tell us if we need to save more money. Before we buy something, we need to think about our budget. So it's very important that if you got your paycheck, let's say that Miss Dailey got her paycheck and she didn't look at any of her bills. She just said, I'm going to go to the store and I want new clothes. I'm going to go buy some new clothes and I'm not going to worry about anything else. Well, then my landlord might call and say, you didn't pay your rent this month, Miss Dailey. I need your money for your rent. But what if I don't have any more money? What's going to happen? Yeah, he's probably going to kick me out, right? So I need to make sure that I keep track of that before I spend my money, because if you don't take care of your things to help you survive, then you might not have enough money for those. And although there are people that will help you, sometimes you can't get that help. So you got to make sure you take care of your things that you need first, okay? So a budget helps you to do that. It helps you keep track of your money and make sure you're spending it when you need to and saving it when you need to, okay? You guys were great listeners for that article. Let's go ahead and do our questions together. And remember, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the article because if I get confused, I can always go back to the title page to help me answer the questions and go through the article again, okay? So I'm back on the title page and let me go ahead and go to the questions. So a blank is a plan for your money. Well, let's look at our choices. A buy, a money, a spend, a needs, or a budget. Which one is a plan for your money? Let's think about what the main idea of the story was. What did we talk about through the whole story, right? I'm going to get my pen out because I want to cross out some choices that are silly that don't make any sense, okay? A buy is a plan. Buying something is a verb, it's not a thing, and a plan is a thing. So I know that those two words can't go together, right? They don't make sense. So I'm going to cross that out because that's silly. A money is a plan for your money. Well, I already have the word money in this sentence, so that doesn't really make sense either, right? So let's cross that one out. A spend is a plan for your money. Well, I might plan to spend money, but it doesn't make sense that I would do something, that I would spend something as being a plan. I don't think that makes sense. What do you guys think? Thumbs up if it makes sense, or thumbs down if you're like, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I see lots of thumbs down. I'm going to cross that one out. So we have two left. A needs is a plan for your money or a budget. So now that I've narrowed it down to two, I want to go back in the story and see if I can find the answer. So I'm looking for a plan for the money. So what is the plan for your money? Well, this paragraph is just asking me a bunch of questions, so I know my answer is not there. So let me check again. Look at this first sentence here. Okay, ready? It says, a budget is a plan for how we use our money. A budget is a plan for how we use our money. So let me go back to our questions and see if you guys see that. Do you see a blank is a plan for your money? Is it a needs or a budget? With your finger, I want you to touch the right answer. Is it needs or budget? Beautiful job. I see lots of friends pointing to this word budget, and look at that. It dinged and it turned green. Beautiful job. All right, let's go on to our next question. A budget shows how much blank you have. Okay, so a budget shows how much blank you have. Well, let's think about this. Let's cross out some answers that don't make any sense, okay? A budget shows how much. Well, I know that it's looking for a thing, right? A noun. And there's only two words on here, maybe three. Needs could sort of be a noun, right? But buy is a verb. That's something I do. So I know that's not going to make sense, right? So I'm going to cross that one out. And spend is something I do. So that doesn't make any sense, right? So let's cross that one out. So I'm left with money, needs, and budget. Well, I already have the word budget here, right? It doesn't make sense to say a budget shows how much budget you have. That's silly, right? So let's cross that one out. So I'm left with money and needs. So let's go back in the article and see a budget shows how much what? Let's see. Oh, look, right here in the next sentence, it says a budget shows how much money we have. A budget shows how much money we have. All right. With your finger, I want you to touch the answer that goes in that box. A budget shows how much blank you have. Beautiful job. I see lots of friends touching this word money. Great job. All right. A budget shows how much money you... This is almost the same question, right? We just need a different word at the end. That's silly. A budget shows how much money you... Oh, I think I remember reading this in the article. Do you guys remember reading this? All right, let's go back and look. Let's look before we cross out some answers. A budget shows how much money. I'm going to scan through and see if I see that. Oh, I think I found it. Do you see this sentence right here? A budget shows how much money we spend and what we spend it on. Oh, a budget shows how much money we spend. Okay, let's go back to our question and see if we see that as a choice, okay? So with your finger, I want you to touch the answer. A budget shows how much money you Beautiful. Yeah, how much we spend, right? It shows how much money we have and how much money we use to buy things to spend, right? Man, you guys are so smart. All right, 2 more questions. People spend money on blank and wants. People spend money on blank and wants. Okay. Remember, this one is looking for a noun. It's looking for a thing. What do we spend money on, right? So I can cross out all the words that are verbs because those won't make any sense, right? So buy I can cross out and spend I can cross out. Okay. People spend money on money. Does that make any sense? That's silly, right? I can cross that out. So I'm left with 2 choices. People spend money on needs and wants, or people spend money on budget and wants. So with your finger, I want you to touch the answer you're thinking. Which one do people spend money on? Great job. I loved how you helped me eliminate some choices so that we only had to look at 2, and needs and wants, I know those go together. So I'm going to put that right there. Beautiful job. All right, we have 1 question left to work through together. Think about your budget before you blank things. Think about your budget before you blank things. Are there any that I can cross out? Are there any that don't make any sense? Yeah, and budget doesn't make any sense, right? Because I already have that word in the question, so I'm going to cross that out. Think about your budget before you blank things. It kind of sounds to me like I'm looking for a verb. I'm looking for something I'm going to do with things. And money is a noun, so I don't think that makes sense. But let me read it in the sentence and see what it sounds like. Think about your budget before you money things. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm going to cross that out, right? Because I think I'm looking for a verb. I'm looking for something that I'm going to do with things. So my choices are buy things or spend things. So I think I want to go back to the story, to the nonfiction article for this one, just to make sure I get the right answer. So think about your budget before you blank things. So I'm going to scan this again and see. Oh, I think it's in the last sentence. Let's read this last sentence together. Before we buy something, so before we buy things, we need to think about our budget. I think I heard it. Did you guys hear it? Oh, I see lots of friends that are like, yeah, Miss Dailey, yeah, I got it. So let's go back, okay? Let me go back to the answers. And with your finger, I want you to touch which one you think it is. Is it buy things or is it spend things? Beautiful. I see so many friends pointing to buy. You want to make sure you check your budget before you buy things. Beautiful job. Go ahead and give your brain a kiss and pat your back. You guys did such hard work today. I'm so proud of you. And I will see you tomorrow for another great lesson. Bye.